to Halloween, it is the perfect time to go on a ghost hunt. So we're heading north, about an hour drive to Fort Collins. We're getting spooked on the haunted Fort Collins tour in Old Town as we explore Colorado. Fort Collins is home of the CSU Rams, a vibrant Old Town district, and
how many documented haunted places do you have in Fort Collins?
30 that we know of so far.
First stop on our ghost tour in Old Town is Jilly Bean Java.
Jilly had a sign on top of this refrigerator, and she was standing here along with one of the coffee reps, and that sign all of a sudden just slid sideways about 4 feet and came right down. No explanation, no wind, no vent.
But it's not scary, is it?
I don't find it scary myself.
It might be one of the more active haunted spots because it's right over the old jail's morgue.
The Old West jails were underground.
So over here is where you had people see the little boy?
Yeah, right on the other side of the fence.
This is one of those pictures. The woman on the left and the man on the right are tour goers. The little boy on the right just appeared. Next door, below the tea house in the old firehouse, is the old jail.
Now we're wandering back towards the solitary confinement cell.
Okay, that was creepy. It was just a fluorescent light buzzing.
Please don't lock me in here.
We're not going to, but we are going to turn out all the lights.
Did they ever let him have a candle? What's it like being in the old drunk tank?
Hey, I love it as long as I have the key to get out.
It's now a jewelry repair business, but in 1888, James Howell was taken from here by an angry mob.
They dragged him out, dragged him down this alley to a waiting crane across the street, and they put a noose around his neck and slowly lifted him up on the crane.
On the site of the Howells home and scene of Eva's murder is the Armadillo restaurant. There have been reports of sightings of 6'4" James, and in the women's bathroom, reports of Eva appearing with her cheek bleeding. One of Fort Collins' most iconic buildings is the Northern Hotel. In the early 1900s, it was one of the most splendid hotels in the West. But the hotel was not immune to the flu pandemic that swept across the United States in 1918.
Right around 1940, 1950, all of a sudden there was a woman who would walk along in the second floor. She was an apparition, and she would be looking in each room.
Next stop, instead of sweets at Walrus Ice Cream Shop, we're going for spooky and go underground into a room over the river that's believed by some to be a spiritual portal. There have been numerous reports of a man appearing from nowhere. So we head underneath an old bank where Lori uses an EMF or electromagnetic field meter to pick up electrical energy.
Now it usually goes off about this much over here. Sometimes it goes off the charts, and that's when people get pictures of things we can't explain.
Next stop is Starry Night, where once again we head downstairs.
And it turns out they have a male ghost down here that breathes heavily when the females come down. And this area right over here has had sightings of a woman who is in a pink dress. She's turn-of-the-century kind of dress.
Now the Fort Collins tour rotates the stops, so each tour is different. You'll get 6 to 7 haunted spots on each tour. The Fort Collins Ghost Tour is for 12 and older. Now the tour runs every weekend through December. There's even a midnight ghost walk, if you dare. And for more information on the ghost tours, we've added a link in the Explore Colorado section of KDVR.com. Guys, it was a lot of fun. And one thing I really love, it's not only a ghost tour, but it's also a history lesson as well. You really learn a lot about the town.
Right. I saw you later that day after you did all of this. And you really loved this one. You were excited about this one.
You know, Old Town is phenomenal. If you have not been to Fort Collins, you do need to go and drive out there. It's an hour away. But it was just, I mean, there's so much of the history and the ghost tours and learning the stories. Yeah, very interesting. I love history. And yeah it was a little interesting as well that all the places were below, like ice cream places, coffee shops, tea spots. It was interesting.
Places people hang out a lot. Oh, good story. All right, Jen. Perfect timing, too, straight for Halloween. More adventures await, I'm sure. 5:53 on this Thursday.